ang DWIZ. Nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama. Ngayong Pasko hanggang dumating ang 2026. Proud member of ALC Group of Companies. Ang lahat ng opinyon, pagtingin, pananaw o kuro-kuro ng mga bisita at panauhin o mga anchors o host sa programang ito ay sarili at tanging opinyon at pananaw ng mga nabanggit at hindi opinyon o pananaw ng Aliw Broadcasting Corporation, mga producers o mga namamahala ng Aliw Broadcasting o anumang organisasyon na affiliated sa network at kailanman ay hindi iniendorso ng Aliw Broadcasting Corporation ang mga nabanggit na opinyon at pananaw sa programa. Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng PAGCOR. Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Petron. Petron knows you deserve only the best.
Moving forward kami sa Sulong na Bayan. Ang inyong paboritong public service program ay susulong na naman. Maririnig kami sa bagong time slot na alas 5 hanggang alas 6 ng gabi. Lunes hanggang Biyernes. Sa prime time slot na ito, higit na maraming listeners at viewers ang aabuti ng aming iba't ibang segments tulad ng Gospel Verse a Day, balita sa special sectors tulad ng OFW, senior citizens, Chinoy community at iba pang makabuluhang sektor. Makakasama ang veteran journalist na si Loli Acosta. Mabuhay! Sulong na Bayan!
Alright, a blessed afternoon to one and everyone in the whole world. Of course, we are being seen and heard and listened to from different parts of the world, especially in America, Estados Unidos, and in Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, Myanmar, Papua New Guinea, the Middle East, South Korea, and of course, our country, the Philippines, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, especially my friends, Assalamu alaikum. All right, today we have a special guest and we're so honored and blessed that he was able to come and join us, not live but via Zoom. Maybe pretty soon we will get to see him here live. I hope he can have time. But let's introduce him. He is our Excellency, His Excellency, Ambassador Daniel Hernandez Joseph. He's our ambassador in Mexico. Hello, good afternoon, buenas tardes.
Hello, buenas tardes. It's such a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to chat and share a little bit about Mexico and our culture with your audience.
Right, we're so honored that you're able to make it. I know you're so busy because of the Independence celebration, but yes, before we start our interview with you, we want you to greet us. How is it you greet in Mexico, in Mexico? The kind of greetings, the Viva Mexico.
Depends on the time of day, like in the English, good afternoon, good day, buenas tardes, buenos días. But more than anything is the warmth with which we usually say it.
Well, because it's the last day of September, the Independence Month of Mexico, we want you to greet us, or the grito. How does that go? The Viva Mexico.
Oh, the grito went great. The grito, which in Spanish means the shout or the scream, is a custom we've had for over about 115 years now. Right. Every year, the leaders stand before an audience and reenact the moment in which the Father of Independence called people to church. He was a priest, and once they were gathered, he called the people to go out and fight for the independence of the country. We reenact the moment, we reenact the act itself, but the words that are said in the grito are actually a remembrance of our leaders, of the Father of Independence, all the leaders that fought, the women and men that fought for our independence. And at the end is a shout to maintain and keep and celebrate our independence and our nation.
So it's like Viva! We are success. Okay, congratulations. This year's Independence Month is really a historic as President Claudia Sheinbaum delivers her first grito as Mexico's first female president. What does this moment signify for Mexico's domestically and internationally, especially in terms of gender equality and democratic progress?
There's a lot of significance in this act and in this event. It's something that is a struggle in the making for decades and decades in our country. As you may know, since 1975, we were the first nation in the world to host a global conference on women, which shows for how long we've struggled toward equality, and that equality is not only an issue of parity, but it is also an issue of an approach to leadership and to the guidance of the direction of our nation. We now led by a woman, which means we have a feminist view on leadership itself and also direction and how to manage and direct our nation's present and future. So at the Grito ceremony, for the first time to have a woman president lead the ceremony, perform the Grito, was an impactful momentary reminder of how far we've come, what we have achieved, but also I think it's important to recognize how much more we still have to go.
Yeah.
Whereas Mexico's had lots of legal changes that give us parity in Congress between men and women, that give us parity in the leaderships of mayorships, governorships. That still doesn't guarantee equality among the genders, and there's still struggles to continue undertaking. And the presence of our president leading the Grito was also a reminder of that.
Right. And she is a lady, so we all know that if there is a lady in the house, we are more what? We're more convincing. We are more patient than the male gender. So now she's leading your country. She has all these qualities to make it really, viable, and your country will be more appreciative of everything that you have to go through these struggles. The struggles she will overcome because she is a lady, I hope. All right, we move on at this question. At the Hyatt reception 2 weeks ago, what were messages or values you hope to share with us, the Filipino public, during that celebration? Mr. Ambassador.
I think the most important one is all those things that makes us the same, that makes us similar, not only just as people and as human beings, but also specifically culturally, those things that are the similarities of our attitudes toward life between the Filipinos and Mexicans. And I think that's what I wanted to share.
Okay.
Unlike the traditional national days of that most embassies celebrate in the Philippines and worldwide, which are very ceremonial, very serious events that where you have political speeches about how the diplomatic relations are becoming tighter and closer. What we do is we share the fact that we're a culture of joy, like the Philippines. So we celebrate this as a day of joy, a day of colors. We're a culture of colors. We're a culture of music. We're a culture of dance. We're a culture of celebration. We celebrate life. So the best way to share this aspect of common culture is living it. So we wanted that evening, and I think we succeeded in having an event that was a joyful event and a celebration of life.
So it's like fun, fun, fun. We are the fun-loving people. We have a lot of similarities. We want joy. We don't want miseries. We just want to be productive and be positive. And there's like an aura of blessings. We are like always thankful. The Mexicans, I see them in America. Of course, they're always smiling. They are like brothers. They treat you like brothers right away, even if they don't really know you that well. They're so welcoming. You guys are so welcoming. So that's what I like about you, because we have the same characters. The Filipinos are also warm and hospitable. Is that the same? That our
exactly the
attributes.
point.
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly the point. How we have those similarities between our cultures. We are welcoming cultures because we're proud of our cultures, and we are looking forward to every opportunity of sharing the different aspects and traits of our culture with other peoples, with peoples of other nations. And we do that as much in Mexico as you do it in the Philippines. I've had the privilege of living here for 2 years and experiencing that firsthand, that warmth, that hospitality, that I know comes from the depths of the heart, and from more than that, the depths of the culture that just come out naturally because that's the way the people are.
Yeah, I think if a lot of other nations would at least copy that kind of attitude, maybe there will be less what you might call wars. We will be friendly all over the world. We will be giving, loving, like the Mexicans, the Filipinos, because you always are intent on enjoying and having fun instead of, giving miseries. So that's what I
And
like with you guys.
none of that, sorry to interrupt, but none of that takes away from the seriousness of who we are.
Sure.
We work hard for the
Exactly.
growth and development of our respective countries.
Exactly.
But we do it with a smile, and we do it with joy, and we do it while celebrating life. One thing does not have to preclude the other.
That's right. Yeah, we can be serious at times, but more on making everyone comfortable. Because I like somebody that I can be with, that I can trust him, that I should be comfortable with him, and there is no animosity. Is how you can talk to him as long as you want and chat with him or with her. Very fun loving. That's where we are similar. So I like it. My next question, in diplomatic and historical ties, let's be a little bit serious, but yeah, the ties between Mexico and the Philippines. Given the 400 years of shared history between us, Mexico and the Philippines, dating back to the Manila-Acapulco galleon trade, how is the embassy working to deepen cultural or historical awareness among younger generations in both countries? The generations right now.
I think that both not only the younger generations, generally the peoples in both our countries don't know enough about how much of our own cultures have roots in each other's. Basically meaning how much of Mexican culture has roots in Filipino culture because of these 460 years of contact between our two countries, and vice versa. How much of what's in the Philippines comes from us. This is extremely important because it speaks directly to the issue of identity. The identity of the people of a nation, the identity of that which makes us nationals of a group, has to do with who we are, who we develop to be over the centuries as a group, as a compact. And the experience is similar to Mexico, for Mexico and for the Philippines. And many of the specific traits in our culture are shared, come from each other's own experience. And we don't know enough about that. So a lot of what the embassy is doing is trying to promote more understanding of our common history and our common culture. How do we do that? Well, for example, we're collaborating with the National Archive in having more access and understanding to historical documents that are in Spanish from the Spanish colonies that we have in our National Archive, so that you may have in yours, and basically working together to understand that joint historical background. Another example is the impact of that common history on who we are today. And a great example of that is how in 2024 we did this exhibit with the Pinto Museum in Antipolo, celebrating that. It was called the Buen Viaje, celebrating that common culture that stems from the experience of the galleon.
The galleon trade, yes. Yeah, we would really want to be interested and to know more and more about Mexico, because I was like wondering, oh, we also look like them somehow. Some of us. The features and the physique and the way we act, perhaps, because we know that Mexico, the Spaniards conquered us really for like hundreds and hundreds. So we still get that, that character. And what I really want to say is you guys are very prayerful. So, a lot of churches all around, and the Filipinos is a Christian country, and we pray all the time. So that's how we are similar. We have similarities in that way. Is that right, Mr. Ambassador?
Yes, there are many, many, many cultural traits that we share because of this joint history. In fact, few people know this, both in Mexico and the Philippines, and that is the fact that during the colony, the Spanish administered the Philippines through the Viceroy in Mexico, which was then called New Spain, because we were also a colony. So the Viceroy in Mexico City appointed the governors of the Philippines. And many of the whole administration of the galleon itself, whereas it is a Spanish issue and it was a Spanish administration, it was handled through Mexico, through the New Spain. This, in addition to that which happened outside the margins of what was legal back then, also adds to the historical background. What I mean by that
1565
is that the galleons carried much more than what the Spanish officially allowed. That means there was contraband. There was trade that came in the galleons that was beyond which was admitted by Spain, and that became trade between Mexico and the Philippines that was direct, that didn't go to Spain.
Connecting the colonies.
And most of what eventually, over 250 years of the galleon, most of what was on the galleons actually became trade not only with Mexico, but even with other areas of Latin America, like with Peru, via this practice of basically overloading the galleons and bringing more products from different parts of Asia to the Americas. And it made the Americas as well as the Philippines wealthier than what was actually recorded in the official Spanish trade. So this is the kind of information that you would more likely be able to find in Mexican archives than in Spanish ones, to be able to understand, or in Mexican archaeology. For example, recently there's been a lot of discovery of broken pottery in Acapulco, which is understood to have been broken from its arrival. And it was hidden because it was pottery that was not part of the official trade. And our archaeologists are working on those issues, and we can advance better in this type of research if we work together with Filipino archaeologists. So this is part of what the embassy is trying to do, to promote that we do more work together to understand the reality, the truth of what happens, because that will lead us to the truth of who we are today. So much of our customs and foods, in clothing, in products, just generally fibers,
practically everything
come from that contact.
It's practically everything that you see. You guys have great influence on us, whether it's the food, whether it's the clothing, the cars, vehicles, everything. The same, we shared a lot, the same culture. So tell us, how would you assess, Mr. Ambassador, the current state of Mexico-Philippines diplomatic relations, and what key areas show the most prominence or promise for the future cooperation?
I think we're in one of the best moments in our bilateral relations, because we're talking about two middle-income countries with such a strong common history, with such a strong common view that have, on the one hand, been able to strengthen their mutual understanding, as we've been chatting today, through common understanding of our culture and history, but also that culture and history translates to common values. You mentioned religion and attitudes toward religion.
Yes.
That's a common value.
Okay.
There are many other common values that translate into international relations. For example, our belief in multilateralism, our belief that the world would be better through basically an international system that is based on rules that we all accept, that we all abide by, that this is the best road to peace. Our opposition to nuclear proliferation, for example.
Right.
All of these are areas in which we have worked together and we can still work together further in the future. We also have, for example, common experiences
Like
on issues like immigration or emigration.
Okay.
You have your overseas Filipino workers. We have a different situation, which are our overseas workers, but concentrated in one single other country, in the United States. They're not spread out throughout the world.
All right.
Yet, how we develop public policies vis-a-vis this reality? How do we develop governmental policies toward our overseas workers, and how we deal with these issues, given the commitment that both governments have toward the well-being of their peoples, is another area in which we have a lot of space for communication, collaboration, exchange of experiences. We've even signed an agreement on things like space technology. Our space agencies have begun to have cooperation in the last 2 or 3 years. We're collaborating in areas like agriculture, agricultural research. Recently, our ministers of agriculture, secretaries of agriculture of both countries had a conversation online precisely to find ways to collaborate on research that will improve agriculture between our two countries.
Right.
There's many areas in which we can work. Trade is certainly one, given the uncertainties of the world and the need that all countries in the world today have to diversify their economic ties. For Philippines and Mexico are no exception to that. So we need to find where are the opportunities that will benefit both our countries by strengthening and improving and growing our trade.
And the world is evolving, Mr. Ambassador. So there is advanced technology or the information technology. How does that go? Like, yes, what kind of information technology are you developing?
I think it's the most important part of it, of the technological advancement, is understanding how it connects with
People.
all of production and generally all of economic growth and development. For us, looking at trade directly is not sufficient. We need to look at chains of production, supply chains of distribution, and these are particularly affected in the high-tech areas.
That's right.
How ranging from computers to electrodomestics to vehicles,
Electric vehicles, yeah.
how we manage exchange and trade in high technology is extremely important. Mexico is particular in Latin America in that we are an industrialized nation.
Sure.
Most of our wealth, most of our GDP,
Resources.
our gross domestic product,
All right.
comes from trade, from international trade.
Yes.
And most of our trade is in manufactured goods, automobiles and electrodomestics particularly, but also in pharma, in medical
Medicines.
devices. So all of these require high technology and access to the highest levels of information technology.
I
And
agree.
access to knowledge and information. So the development of science becomes extremely important, which makes our universities and our academic exchange extremely important, which also makes the connections between the different disciplines in science very important. For example, everything I've mentioned,
Yes.
cars, electrodomestics have microchips.
Sure.
So microchips become very important for a country whose economy
Vital.
depends on the production of cars and electrodomestics. And we're working on, and we have a new plan, the Plan Mexico, which is basically development outlook toward the future, which includes the development of the microchips that we need to strengthen our economic natural advantages, which are now in mostly cars, electrodomestics, and medical devices.
So, Mr. Ambassador, you think the AI, is that like an advantage, or what are the disadvantages, if any?
I think like any new technology, it has advantages, it has risks. And one of the challenges I think it's a challenge for all of the people, for everybody. We all have a responsibility in it, but particularly centered in governments, is how do we maximize the advantages and we control, reduce, and hopefully eliminate the risks of any new technology. And AI is no exception to that.
Right.
I think it offers wonders in terms of the possibilities for growth, development, and progress, but we also need to think of what risks it brings and what changes it would bring to situations like labor, to security, and we need to make sure that those risks are considered in the policies we follow as we develop in science. What we cannot do, what will not happen, is to go back in knowledge. Once we learn and advance the knowledge of something, that knowledge will continue to grow. That's just, fortunately, one of the characteristics of human beings.
Right. I agree, Mr. Ambassador. That's excellent. The Bible, the scripture clearly stipulates that for lack of knowledge, my people perish. Of course, we don't want people to perish. That's why here we are, the both of us, your country and our country, are collaborating to make it happen, to make known to the ends of the earth how and what can we help them with. We have to pause for a quick break, Mr. Ambassador, but when we come back, we will tackle more on current and upcoming programs or projects of the Mexican government. The Philippine Standard Time is 5:25 in the afternoon.
Oras hatid sa inyo ng PAGCOR. Oras hatid sa inyo ng PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882. Panatilihing masaya ang paglilibang. Magtakda ng oras at limitahan ang gastos sa paglalaro. Huwag magsugal kung nalulungkot. Huwag hayaang makasira ng buhay at pamilya. Para sa impormasyon ukol sa responsible gaming, bisitahin ang www.pagcor.ph. Isang mensahe mula sa PAGCOR. Gambling is for 21 years old and above only. Gambling can be addictive. Know when to stop.
Maglaro sa Bingo Plus app para tuloy-tuloy ang premyo at saya. At malay mo, mapanalunan mo pa ang jackpot prize sa first online live stream bingo sa Pinas. Bingo Plus, bingo sa saya, plus sa panalo.
Gambling is for 21 years old and above only. Gambling can be addictive. Learn when to stop.
Maglaro sa Bingo Plus app para tuloy-tuloy ang premyo at saya. At malay mo, mapanalunan mo pa ang jackpot prize sa first online live stream bingo sa Pinas. Bingo Plus, bingo sa saya, plus sa panalo.
Gambling is for 21 years old and above only. Gambling can be addictive. Learn when to stop.
International Series Philippine and Bingo Plus. Bingo sa saya plus sa panalo. Tickets available now at SM Tickets.
Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong, kaong gawa sa lahat sinusulong. PCSO, PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong ang PCSO, PCSO.
Papalakas ng papalakas, palinaw ng palinaw, mga balita at impormasyong naiintindihan dahil malinaw mong nalaman. Tutok lang sa DWIZ.
DWIZ mula umaga hanggang gabi. Updated on air and online. DWIZ nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
Ang balitang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Petron. Petron knows you deserve only the best.
Ang balitang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong. Latest, pinakabago at tama. DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Pilipinas, narito na ang mga tamang balita sa oras na ito. Defense Secretary Chodoro, tiniyak na walang nagbabalak magkudeta laban sa Marcos administration. Detalye mula kay Patrol 19 Celi Ortega Bueno.
Walang nagbabalak magsagawa ng kudeta sa hanay ng Armed Forces of the Philippines. Ito ang tiniyak ni Defense Secretary Gibot Chodoro, makarang igit na hindi military solution ang sagot sa kinakaharap na political problem ng bansa sa ngayon. Ayon sa kalihim, ang solusyon sa mga suliranin ng bansa ngayon ay maayos na pamamahala sa mga proyekto, tamang pagtugon sa mga infrastructure projects na inaaksyonan na ng pamahalaan, pagpapanagot sa mga sangkot sa katiwalian at pagpapatatag sa ating mga institusyon. Ayon kay Chodoro, maraming nagdadasal na magbalak magkudita pero wala anyang nagpaplano magsagawa nito sa hanay ng militar. Tiniyak ng kalihim na matatag ang Defense Department at AFP at hindi sila magpapadala sa mga maliliit na grupo na nananawagan na magbitiw sa pwesto si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr. Ng kalihim, hindi na ba tayo natuto na kapag naghihimasok ang militar, hindi naman maganda ang kinalalabasan nito? Hindi ba ang dapat gawin nga ay patatagin ang ating mga institusyon? Tiniyak ni Secretary Chodoro na nananatiling suportado ng AFP ang Constitution at ang chain of command. Kung may mga retired uniform personnel man na naghahayag daw ng galit at pagpatikos sa administrasyon, pero hindi anya mangyayari kung ang hangarin nila ay mag-aklas ang mga militar ng kanilang suporta sa administrasyon. Ito si Patrol 19 Celi Ortega Bueno para sa ilang metodong lakas sa DWIZ. Nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Paghahabol kay dating Congressman Zaldico kaugnay sa issue ng flood control projects, magiging maluwag ayon sa leader ng Kamara. Detalye mula kay Patrol 30 Jelly Mendez.
Naniniwala si House Speaker Faustino D. III na mas magiging maluwag ngayon ang trabaho ng Department of Justice o DOJ, Independent Commission for Infrastructure o ICI, at ang Senado nahabulin si dating Congressman Elizaldico kaugnay sa issue ng flood control projects. Kasunod dito ng pagbibitiw sa pwesto ni Ko bilang kinatawan ng Ako Bicol Party List sa Kamara. Malaya na rin anya ang Senado na obligahin si Ko na dumalo sa mga hearing dahil hindi na niya anya maaaring isangkalan ang interparliamentary courtesy. Tiniyak ni Dia ang kahandaan ng Kamara at pakikipagtulungan sa DOJ at sa iba pang kaukulang tanggapan upang panagutin si Ko kung mapapatunayang siya ay responsable sa mga anomalya sa flood control at issue ng budget insertions. Iginit ni Dia na dapat nang umuwi sa Pilipinas si Ko para harapin at direktang sagutin ang mga aligasyong ibinabato laban sa kanya. Ito si Patrol 30. Jelly Mendez nag-uulat para sa impilang may todong lakas sa DWIZ. Nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Samantala, pinalawak na 20 pesos rice program inilunsad na sa Masbate. Detalye hahatid ni Patrol 38 Jen Patrolya.
Inilunsad na ng Department of Agriculture ang pinalawak na 20 peso rice program sa Masbate upang agad na matulungan ang libo-libong pamilyang sinalanta ng bagyong Opong. Ayon kay Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr., simula bukas bawat sambahayan sa Masbate ay maaaring nang makabili ng hanggang 30 kilo na bigas sa halagang 20 pesos kada kilo sa loob ng isang buwan. Bahagi ito ng flagship Food Assistance Program ni Pangulong Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. na benting bigas meron na nagbibigay ng hanggang 10 kilo ng bigas kada buwan sa mga solo parent, senior citizen, magsasaka, mangingisda, PWD, indigent, transport worker at minimum wage earner. Tinatayang nasa 70,000 kabahayan ang naapektuhan ng bagyo sa Masbate, batay sa datos ng DSWD. Bukod sa 20 peso rice, nagpatupad din ang DA ng price freeze sa pangunahing produktong agrikultural matapos ideklara ang state of calamity sa lalawigan. Sinasaklaw nito ang bigas, baboy, manok, itlog, isda, mantika, sibuyas at bawang. Binalaan din ng DA ang mga negosyanteng lalabag na maaari silang maharap sa multa o pagkakansela ng business permit sa ilalim ng Price Act. Tinayak naman ni NFA Administrator Larry Lacson na sapat ang supply ng bigas para sa mga apektadong lugar na may nakalaang 2.4 million bags mula sa buffer stock ng NFA na aabot sa 8.9 milyong bag. Ako si Patrol 38 Jen Patrolyo nag-uulat sa himpilang may todong lakas DWIZ, nagbabalita na tama, naglilingkod na tama.
DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
At yan ang mga tamang balita sa oras na ito. Mag-follow at subscribe sa lahat ng DWIZ digital news accounts, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, DWIZ News app at DWIZ News website. Ako po si Gia Rafael, nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
Oras-oras nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama. DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Ang balitang ito ay inihatid sa inyo ng Petron. Petron knows you deserve only the best.
Ang balitang ito ay inihatid sa inyo ng PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882.
All right, we're back with our special guest, the Honorable His Excellency, of course, Daniel Hernandez Joseph, our Mexican ambassador to the Philippines. And yes, we want to know, Mr. Ambassador, reflecting on your second year as ambassador, what key accomplishments or milestones do you believe have most strengthened Mexico and Philippine relations?
I think if it goes back to what I've already mentioned in this conversation, the milestones have to do with opening new venues for us to work together to jointly understand better our joint backgrounds. But not only that, but making it accessible and available to the people, not just stay within the academic field or areas, but actually have the peoples of our country learn and know more about each other and about that aspects of ourselves that come from each other. Basically, that aspect of Mexican culture that has its roots in the Philippines, and those aspects of Philippine culture which have their roots in Mexico, or the New Spain, as it was called before independence.
So is it like how have cultural or people-to-people exchanges between Mexico and the Philippines evolved during your tenure? And what kind of initiatives are you most proud of?
Exactly. And the other milestones, I think, is broadening the fields of our relations. We have expanded, for example, in trade. We have expanded from most of our trade has happened more recently in electronics and electronic components, whereas now we're also including some commodities, like we're opening the meat market between our countries, specifically pork meat and beef. We're hoping that within less than 2 months, we'll have inspectors from the Philippines visiting our farms and opening the trade for Mexican meat products to come here.
Wow.
The presence of, and this is mostly something that is a Filipino success, and that is the presence of a Filipino Studies Center at our national university, the largest university in Latin America, the National University of Mexico, which now hosts Filipino Studies Center, which has made possible more academic exchanges, more contacts between those who study that which is common between Philippines and Mexico, including international relations and international politics. I think those two, but I want to mention also something else which makes it
What is
broader.
Right.
We've spoken a lot about the galleon.
Galleon.
And I think the galleon goes beyond Mexico and Philippines. The galleon was a way through which over 250 years, Mexico and the Philippines were central in connecting Asia and the Americas. And the impact historically in terms of trade, goods, culture, any which way you want to look at it, goes beyond the very strong impact it had for Mexico and the Philippines. And in this sense, I celebrate that other countries in Asia have also taken notice of that. Singapore held a major exhibition at the Asian Civilizations Museum based on the galleon and its cultural impact between Asia and the Americas, specifically with Mexico.
Right.
This exhibit is now going to Mexico.
Okay.
And I'll take this opportunity to thank the great enthusiasm, the large enthusiasm of Filipino private and public institutions in making sure that the Filipino narrative, the Filipino experience, the Filipino view of the significance and importance of the galleon, both in history and for who we are today, is clearly represented in this exhibit that's going to be shown in Mexico at the end of this year.
Wow.
It's extremely important because it's the first time that an Asian perspective on the galleon comes to the Americas. And it'll be at the San Ildefonso Museum, which is a major 17th century venue for us. It's a place where the very first university in the American continent was founded. In that very building is where we will be showing pieces from both private collections and governmental collections from the Philippines in Mexico. But more than that, we're hoping that this will add, during the 6 months that the exhibit will show, the opportunity of hearing from Filipino intellectuals and academics about this Filipino perspective on the galleon, which is very rarely heard in my country. So I'm very excited about this as a major milestone because it's never happened before.
And that's a breakthrough, Mr. Ambassador, because you were saying we don't know much about the galleon. Now we will open it, and there will be like different knowledge that will be added into us, so we will know how impactful the galleon trade is. I'm excited. I might go there. And when is it going to happen, Mr. Ambassador? November of this year?
It will be inaugurated the first week of December. I don't have here the exact date, but it will be the first week of December, and it will remain for 6 months. So that means until May.
Till May. Okay, we have time. We have ample time. We will invite all the peoples of the world to try and check it out because that's something that we should be proud of, and something that, there's a big knowledge coming in, and that is huge, I think, for us, for our cultural ties. And tell us, Mr. Ambassador, more details about some other projects in the pipeline. Do you have some other partnerships or cultural initiatives that you're planning to launch?
But I think we need to acknowledge, for example, that this year we're celebrating the 80th anniversary of Squadron 201. And this is another part of our joint history that very few people know about. Mexico had only one Air Force squadron participating in World War II. And its job was to come here and support in the liberation of Manila. And they participated in 1945 in the liberation of Manila. So we would like to undertake events so that we don't forget this aspect of our modern history, where we have fought hand in hand,
side by side,
democracy, for freedom of our peoples. This is one aspect that I think I would like to really bring to closure, as well as, like I said, we're expanding in agriculture and meats. I would like to work toward further expansions in our trade in other areas and in other fields. Whereas Mexico is the second Latin American trading partner of the Philippines, we are the first market of the Philippines. What this means is that when you look at to which Latin American countries Philippines sells the most, it's Mexico.
Mexico.
The thing is that Philippines buys more from Brazil, so that's what makes the trade between Brazil and Mexico and Philippines larger than the one you have with Mexico because of what the Philippines buys from Brazil. In our case, most of our trade is what we buy from the Philippines. The other area in which I would like to work on, and that's in the pipeline, is expanding investment between the two countries.
Yeah.
And investment is important not only because of the benefit it brings, obviously, from the presence of newer and fresher resources in each other's economy, but also because how it connects what I spoke about earlier, the chains of supplies, chains of production. And that means it connects our markets, it tightens the connection between our markets. So in that sense, having more investment in both directions further strengthens the bonds, the commercial and economic bonds between our countries. There are major investments, I think, in both directions. Our largest port for trade with Asia, the port of Manzanillo, is managed by ICTSI, the
International Container
Filipino
Port.
company.
Right.
There's presence of Filipino companies in electronics. There's presence of Filipino companies in infrastructure. There's presence, as you know, even in spirits, where there's been investment, as we have here in call centers, we have them in feed. I think there's a
whole lot.
moment of opportunity and a space for these investments to grow even further.
Oh, we're looking so forward to that, what you just said, because, the president, our country's president, Bongbong Marcos, are really inviting a lot of investors to come here. So what particular investment are you zeroing in the country?
I think there's opportunity in high tech. There's further opportunity in electronic components, as I mentioned, because of those connections that they have with chains of production and chains of supply. That is an area, but also in commodities. We look at avocados, we look at berries. When it comes to agriculture, we should look at opportunities in mining. There's lots of spaces in which we could work even further. There's a lot of food products that are common to both cultures, and we could look at how can we assure that we are well provided, because both of our cultures consume a lot of these products that we share that come from one or the other. We eat coconuts and drink and coconut oils and coconut products. Coconuts didn't exist in Mexico until the Filipinos arrived. They came from the Philippines. A lot of the foods here that end with te in Philippines come from Mexico, like achiote, camote.
Yes.
They came with the galleon, but they're now part of the Filipino diet. Can we look at how we can work together in furthering the productions and the availability of these food products that our populations consume?
Right. So when we come back, we want to ask the good ambassador, because there's a question coming in right now. What kind or what one Mexican dish you always recommend people try? But you will answer that when we return. For now, we pause for a quick break. The Philippine Standard Time is 5:47 in the afternoon.
That time check was brought to you by Bingo Plus, International Series Philippine, and Bingo Plus. Bingo sa saya, plus sa panalo. Tickets available now at SM Tickets.
Oras, hatid sa inyo ng Pagcor.
Oras hatid sa inyo ng PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan! sa DWIZ 882. Panatilihing masaya ang paglilibang. Magtakda ng oras at limitahan ang gastos sa paglalaro. Huwag magsugal kung nalulungkot. Huwag hayaang makasira ng buhay at pamilya. Para sa impormasyon ukol sa responsible gaming, bisitahin ang www.pagcor.ph. Isang mensahe mula sa Pagcor. Gambling is for 21 years old and above only. Gambling can be addictive. Know when to stop.
Umuurong sa pagtulong, kawang-gawa sa lahat sinusulong. PCSO, PCSO. Di umuurong sa pagtulong ang PCSO, PCSO. DWIZ.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882.
Upang sugpuin ang lumalalang kaso ng iligal na online gaming sa bansa at protektahan ang mga manlalaro laban dito, nilunsad ng Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation o PAGCOR ang PAGCOR Guarantee website. Maaaring i-check ng publiko sa nasabing website kung lisensyado at lehitimo ang isang online gaming site bago sila maglaro o magbayad. Regular na ina-update ang website at may direktang link ito sa mga lisensyadong gaming platforms. Ayon kay PAGCOR Chairman CEO Alejandro Tenco, matutulungan nito ang publiko na makaiwas sa panlilinlang habang pinoprotektahan ang kanilang karapatan bilang manlalaro. Paalala pa ni Chairman Tenco na maging mapanuri sa bawat online gaming activity na sasalihan sapagkat dumarami na ang mga nagrereklamo hinggil sa illegal na gaming sites na hindi nagbabayad ng panalo. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, bisitahin ang www.pagcor.ph/pagcorguarantee. All right, we are back with our program, The Envoys and the Entrepreneur of Sulong na Bayan segment. And of course, you're still listening and you're tuned in our DWIZ 882 and Aliw 23. And of course, our special guest is the Mexican Ambassador, His Excellency Ambassador Daniel Hernandez Joseph. And we want to show this, and let's ask the good ambassador to explain this animated version. Can you try that? Go ahead, sir. What does that mean for the lighter part?
Oh, that comes from the Loteria
Right.
that we presented in the Grito ceremony. So as you can see, that's basically my avatar. I'll put on my
Okay.
glasses because the avatar is me with glasses. We play this game, which is like bingo, and it's very common, very popular in Mexico for well over 100 years.
Right.
It's basically a bingo without, instead of numbers, we use pictures and images of traditional aspects of Mexico. So during our National Day celebration, we played the game. The winner won a trip to Mexico.
Okay.
And to describe the rules of the game, it was done by my AI avatar.
Okay.
So basically, through an avatar that was driving a jeepney through Intramuros,
Intramuros,
is that
alright.
we described the game. It was a way of putting together traditional cultures of the
Exactly.
Philippines and Mexico in one experience.
Right. We share a lot of passion. We share a lot of attributes and characteristics. So, yeah, the jeepney, that's very famous in our country. And yes, before we pause for a break, this is again for the lighter part. Somebody's asking, what one Mexican dish you would always recommend people will try aside from tacos?
No question for me. It's mole. Mole
Mole.
is a sauce, and it could be done in different ways, the different kinds of moles. The most traditional one is a red mole.
Red mole.
Mole is a sauce that has over 40 ingredients,
Wow,
depending on
so
how you
many.
make it. It's open. It includes things like, it could include cinnamon, it includes chiles, it includes chocolate. So it includes a lot of the products
Spices.
that travel in the galleon. That's why I recommend it. And we usually eat mole with rice. You can have mole, the sauce itself, covering. Usually we do it with chicken, but it can be done with meat. It can be done
Beef.
with pork, beef. It's up to each person. But I recommend mole because of its flavor, because it's different, because it's very Mexican, because it has so much of the galleon, and it's different in that, for example, people are surprised it has chocolate, but it's not sweet.
Not sweet.
Chocolate was originally a bitter thing that the Aztecs mixed with water, and they drank the way we drink coffee today, or some cultures drink tea. They drank chocolate, but it was bitter. It wasn't sweetened until after the Europeans arrived. So chocolate and mole brings us back to the origins.
Okay.
I really recommend it. There's several places in Manila where you can get it.
Yeah, that's why, well, we get that all the time in our we have Mexicali, no plugging, but that's where we eat most of the time when we're out with my kids. But do you have a favorite Filipino dish this time? What Filipino
there's several, but crispy pata.
Crispy pata.
That's simple.
That's so
simple.
fat, yeah.
Yes.
A lot of fatty, but you like that, the crisp
Yes, but I like it.
Right. And if Mexico and the Philippines had a food fusion, can you say what combination would you like to see? In addition
I think
to
it's
what you
already
just said?
happening. I think it already happens. Look at the adobo.
Adobo.
There is a Spanish version of adobo. There is a Mexican version of adobo, and there's a Filipino version of adobo.
Also.
But at the end, when you see these dishes, you can see the fusion. You can see that at the end of the day, there's enough commonalities in the dish that makes them adobo. I think the fact that rice comes into the diet, rice is not typical of us. It came more with modern era and with trade, but we eat a lot of rice in Mexico. So the way we've integrated rice, like I said, mole, we traditionally eat it with rice. There is an integration of Asian and our own foods. So yeah, there's a lot of ways in which we can go about it. You can do it many ways because we're both cultures with such rich cuisine.
And we love to eat.
And we love to eat.
Right. Is there a Mexican holiday, Mr. Ambassador, or a tradition you'd love Filipinos to experience firsthand?
Yeah, there's two. We've tried to share here the Day of the Dead, which is very uniquely Mexican. You know it through the movie Coco. You know it through a lot of the media. And we celebrate it every year. So we invite people to come to the embassy and look at the altar and what we do for the Day of the Dead. But also we have now started to share the ways in which Mexicans celebrate Christmas. So last year we held here in very close to the embassy in a park. We celebrated the posada, the traditional Mexican way of celebrating Christmas with the Mexican specific Christmas carols and traditions.
Practically, it's the same with the Filipinos. We sing carols, we sing Christmas songs, we greet everyone, and this lavish food. All right. Another question would be, what's your go-to comfort food when you're far from home? Another food.
When I'm far from home, there you will believe this one. There's one that's common also to both of us.
What
it's
is it?
jicama.
Whoa, jicama.
I love jicama.
Okay.
And it's healthy.
How does it taste? How does it taste? Is that like sour or saucy?
No, it depends on what, in Mexico, we bathe the jicama with, after you peel it, we bathe it with Mexican lemon, we call it. It's a type of lime.
Okay.
And salt and chili.
Yes, a little bit salt. Salty. Well,
let me see. They're telling me here, cincamas. is what we call
Cincamas.
it.
Okay.
And we
That's
call
our
it
food.
jicaman in Spanish.
Right. Spanish term.
That's what it is.
Right. And that's juicy. It's like watery. So
Yes.
you'll be okay.
Watery.
Right, right. So that's your comfort food. Now, on singing, I know Filipinos love singing and we're good at it. So do you also sing karaoke? And if yes, what's your favorite song?
Unfortunately, no.
No, no.
I was a child who got a lot of musical training as a kid, and basically my music teachers gave up on me and said,
Oh,
tone deaf. So unfortunately,
Okay.
no, I'm not a singer. But there is, of course, it's another trait we share. There's
What?
a lot of love for singing in Mexico. I was just
Love
not
songs.
blessed with a voice or a capacity to sing well.
but what about dancing, Mr. Ambassador? Do you
Oh yeah,
dance?
dancing
Okay,
is
there
a
you
passion
go.
of mine.
Well, we will
Definitely.
invite you pretty soon when your schedule,
Salsa, cumbia.
allows. Okay, that's great. All right, in 60 seconds there, we have a lot of other questions coming in, but we will just maybe send it to you so you can answer it. Tell us what's your message, the message that you'd like to convey to our countrymen, the Filipinos, particularly the students, cultural advocates, and entrepreneurs who are interested in engaging more deeply with Mexico. Go ahead, sir.
I would say the first part of the message is that this is the time to do it.
This
This is the time to engage with Mexico.
Okay.
We live in a very uncertain world, and here you have a country that has a very clear vision of what it's doing, where it's growing. It has a plan. It has a development plan, the Plan Mexico. So it has a clear vision of how to go about it, and it all involves engaging with other countries. It all involves engaging with the world. So this is the time to engage with Mexico. Second is what to do about it. Basically, approach us, visit the country. If you can, learn the language, but mostly look for specifically for where the opportunities are that could help and benefit you and our relationship. What aspects are you specifically interested in? And do come to the embassy and approach us. That's what we're here for, and we can direct you more specifically as to which way to go about it and how to address your interests so that both the peoples of Mexico and the Philippines can be closer to each other, understand each other better.
All right. Muchas gracias, Mr. Ambassador. His Excellency, thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for recognizing and valuing the historical and cultural connection between our two countries. So our listeners and viewers today, through Ambassador, His Excellency Ambassador Daniel Hernandez, we feel that the development is within reach. He said that so we can truly soar high. Sulong na Bayan. God bless. Mexico.
Maraming salamat.
Goodbye.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882. Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Petron. Petron knows you deserve only the best. Ang programang ito ay inihatid sa inyo ng PAGCOR.
Nagpapalaganap ng tamang balita at tamang paglilingkod sa